Hello, this is Catherine Dubberly, the Answer Lady. Today, Jack and I are just going to show you real quickly how do you change a needle when you get a bad needle in your knitting machine. The method is virtually identical for most machines. The sponge bar fits in a channel right there. I leave mine sticking out about a half an inch so it's easier to grab, and even so I usually have to use pliers to get a hold of it. Just say we want to change one of these needles. We would pull the sponge bar all the way out. And you'll know when it's free because it wiggles easily. It's not free yet. And the needles in many models will start to rise up. See how bouncy these have become? We'll have to push them back down to push the sponge bar in. Alright, with the sponge bar out, I would press down on the outer edge of this needle, make sure the latch is closed, and lift it out. See how the tail end rose up? I'll have to keep pulling it up, and now it's out, and I could replace it. And of course you replace it in reverse, and then we'll have to put the sponge bar back in position. Make sure the bottom end or the back end drops back into the slot. But if this needle was really badly bent, you might need to cut off the front part of it. Jack's going to pretend to cut it off for you now.
If you can get it out as far as you can past the gate pegs, go right in up next to the gate pegs, and the side cutters should cut it right there.
This is the tool we normally use if we have to do that, to cut that out.
If for some reason you can't just squeeze them tight enough to break the needle, squeeze them as tight as you can, move the cutters down, squeeze them again. Then what you would want to do is lift the needle just a little to get a pair of pliers inside the gate pegs. Then with your needle nose, flex the needle back and forth where you made the scarring, and it should break off.
And then part of the needle would fall off out here, and you'd have a smaller piece to lift out, and hopefully that would be easier to do. Now once you've changed everything that you need to change, you need to reinsert the sponge bar. And I make this a two-person job for this machine. Many machines require that you push down the needles to allow the sponge bar access. Back up a little, thank you. Pushing down. See how much the needles drop down as we add the sponge bar across? That's not true of every model, but the needles on almost every model should, when they're ready to knit, be pressed down to the bed of the machine. And if they're risen up, either the sponge bar is likely in there wrong or it's worn completely out.